Alright guys, here will be a review of the NZG Liebherr PR764 dozer. It's the largest that Liebherr makes, and you can see it's in the custom livery of Kibag, and they're a gravel and a big construction company. So the model retails for around $134, and I simply got it because I don't have a dozer, and I was originally going to get it 2 weeks earlier, but I got it as a birthday gift since I really didn't feel like paying for it. Not because it's a bad model, but simply because I was going to put the money towards a different model. So getting it as a birthday gift was great. And there are only 300 of these made. They make other Kibag models, but most of them don't even make it over to the US, simply because they sell out, because obviously it's a library in a different country, and they don't make it over here. They sell out. So to start off the review, it's an awesome model, great features, great detail. I don't really see anything wrong with it. So you got your simple blade functions. You could raise your blade. You can see very high, which I like a lot. I mean, that's very good height. Tilt it forward, and you can see when it tilts, it raises the height just a little bit, not too much, and tilt it back and bring it down, and it goes down till around right there, which is nothing crazy, but if you bring it down anymore, it's going to pop out of the cylinders, which happened to me. And it's not hard to put in or anything, but I'm not going to do that in the review, obviously. So it might go down maybe like 1/4 of an inch more. The ripper on the back, which is fully functional, is one of my favorite parts of the model. Lowers, and it also tilts. It'll only tilt if it's fully lowered, though. If it's raised, you go to tilt it and it lowers. But you can see there's a pin there, and what the pin does is remove, and you can take the ripper out. You can see there's 3 holes in the ripper, and that is simply to adjust the ripper height. You could reverse the ripper if you're in transport, but I don't think they would do that because this ripper isn't wide enough to, but you never know. And you could put it to any height given. So if you want it the deepest it could go, right there, and it will raise the dozer nicely off the ground. And next position is right there. So you can see overall, even just the functions of the model are great. And there's another thing on the undercarriage, which I'm going to show you once I get to that, and that just really made me happy to have this model. So you can see front of the model, the blade. This is the largest dozer Liebherr does make, and I believe, not 100% sure, but I want to say it's about the size of a Cat D9. It's a little bit bigger than a D8. Not sure if it's bigger than it's definitely not bigger than a D10. So I'd put my money on a D9. So the blade is basically just a blade. You can see it's flat and everything. It's got the bolt detail on the sides, the little etched out things up top so the operator could see through. Nothing crazy, it's just a blade. Now, the only thing that I wish this gray was white, but obviously it's the livery of the company, so it's not going to be, but I think it would just look pretty cool if that was white. Although the gray is really nice. Obviously the color didn't stop me from buying it, but since I have it, I've been thinking about different colors for it, and I thought it would look cool white, but that's the company color, nothing I could do about it. blade arms and cylinders that tilt it, you can see, are extremely detailed. Unfortunately, there aren't any hydraulic lines running to the cylinders. Not really a big disappointment, but for some it would be. It seems like they have the holes in there for them, but they never actually put them in, and I don't know why. You could see over here, you could actually take out the pin and adjust the cylinder position, which I'm not going to do, but I guess they give you the option to. Movement on the cylinder is great. I'm going to tilt it up for the review so I can show you the back of the blade. Going on with the rest of the arm, it has the grip detail over here, the step right there, which I don't know if you could tell, but there's lines on there you could see in the camera, and that's just more grip detail, and some other detail over here. And what I like what they did is they covered up the pin that connects the arm to the track frame, which I like a lot. You don't see too many other dozers with the pin covered up. That makes a big difference on the model. Believe me, I like it a lot. I'm gonna have to raise up here to show you the back of the blade. So, back of the blade of the dozer. You can see there's a lot going on over there. Basically, this just supports the blade, I guess, so it moves equally, and you can see that piece in there moves. There's the back of the blade. It's got the guards for the cylinders, and it's etched out right there. Cylinders connect. You can see they're strict pins. They're not any rivets, which is nice because they're small. Some of them are painted over, some of them aren't. It doesn't really matter to me, but I like how they're strict pins. They're not rivets. Here's the arm that connects each of the side arms together. That's nice too. Lots of nice detail on that. Now, as I got the blade, switch back. Looking at the rest of the dozer. Here's the front of the dozer. The blue paint is fantastic. Perfect blue paint. I like it a lot. Not too thick, not too thin. Just perfect. Great paint job on it. You can see the cylinders are plastic. There's a slight color change to them. Honestly, it's probably the best that I've seen on a model yet. You could barely tell that they're different. It only seems like the finish is different on them compared to the actual color. Cylinders got the I want to say those are the hydraulic lines running to them. Doubt those are the electric lines for the lights. But it's got the lines running to them, and it has 2 lights on each cylinder, which is a great feature. Has the exhaust stack right here, which unfortunately is plastic, and it would have been cool if that was hollow, but the black on there kind of gives it a simulation as if it was hollow. Radiator vent, really nice. Not etched through, and it is plastic, but you could see it gives the model a nice look nonetheless. Up top over here, it's got simulated vents, and they do have texture, and it's got handrails. Every single handrail on this model is metal, as you could see. Now, the side, another metal handrail and another one, and this is also simulated. It's got the Kibag logo on it, and it says something in German underneath it. I don't know what the hell it says, honestly, but you could see it looks very nice nonetheless. And it's pretty much just the same on the other side. Now, the tracks, and honestly, I think the tracks are probably the coolest part of the model. The tracks are pretty incredible. Nicest tracks I've ever seen on a model to date, and it's not because of how they look, but it's mainly of what they could do. And you're probably wondering what I'm trying to say by that, but I'll go over the tracks real quick and then I'll show you what they could do. The tracks are metal. They roll pretty smooth, you know, they're alright. They seem really tight. I'm not going to roll them because, number one, it's hard to roll them, and Number two, they almost seem like they're gonna break. They do give you extra links, so luckily they do give you that. There we go. Detail on them is nice. You know, single grouser pads, big tough looking pads. Motor on the back is metal. Sprocket on the front seems metal as well. Nice bolt detail and everything. And there is a tensioner, as you could see. Now, two features of the tracks, which you probably never see on any other dozer model on the market. You bring the tracks down, and the rollers roll with the tracks. That is just awesome. Now, I guess it depends on, you know, the terrain it's going over and stuff, but that is just awesome. I love that a lot. The two in the back roll, tilt forward. The one in the front tilts towards the ripper. That is just really cool, and it just adds a really nice touch to the model. It does it on the other side as well, but getting to the next feature, because this review is probably going to be pretty long, and I don't want to make it too long, but let me show you this. Now, you can see the tracks are, each of them are level. If you bring one down, brings the other one up, and vice versa. Check that out. So, if one side's going over a rock, the other side will stay level, and it'll keep the dozer level. It'll keep it level on the model. So, how cool is that? That is just completely awesome, and it'll do it for the back. Well, not really for the back, but for the front, it'll do it. That is just completely awesome. And how it works is, with this bar right here, it just basically tilts. It pivots right there, left to right, and then right there, it'll pivot itself. But how cool is that? That is just awesome. I love that a lot. And this side, you could see, moves as well. I thought a lot of people would like that. I don't know if they will, but it adds a lot to the model. Now the cab and fuel tank and every other tank on it. Cab is nice. It's got the tilted seat. It's nothing crazy. I don't know if you could see, but it's basically just got two controls left and right of the seat, and it's got the front panel. Going on to the cab, you could see it's got the detail right there. Same thing on the other side. And it's got I believe that's a filter or an air intake, and the other side is exactly the same. Back of it's got the Kibag logo. It's got more metal handrails. Cab has got two lights, handrails on the sides, windshield wipers. And whoops. Don't move the windshield wipers because they'll break off. Does it go back on? Barely see it anyway. Whatever. And this side it's got some grille detail. Honestly, I didn't even see. You can barely see them anyway, whatever. I'll have it if I ever want to put it back on. Now the ripper, and there's only one disappointing thing on this, and I honestly don't know why it bothered me, because it doesn't bother me on any other model. But when I first took it out of the box, the first thing I noticed on the ripper was the glue. And honestly, it never bothered me on any other model. But I guess since this was a limited run of 300 and it had glue all over it, it just came into mind. Really doesn't matter now that it has it, but every time I look at it, I see the glue, and it doesn't take away from it, but I just always wonder how they could have got the glue there. I mean, obviously they had a glue in the cylinders, the line to the cylinders, and I'm guessing they used crazy glue because it showed the white residue. The ripper, I know it's hard to see, but it's got the hydraulic lines running out of the back to each cylinder. So there's lines running to each cylinder, 2 lines to each cylinder, which is completely awesome. I like that a lot. Is that coming off? Just roll that down there. And if you look, it has the potential for a hitch. Now, I'm still debating if I'm going to take the ripper off this model. In my opinion, it makes it look nice and, you know, like tough, like a big dozer should. But I still don't know if I'm going to take the ripper off. I'm probably not, because it looks a pain to take off. So there would be a great chance that I will keep it on, although I do really want to take it off. You can see the ripper has a little tiny lifting eye right there to install it, which is really cool. And the pin to remove it and install it is plastic. And it's got a nice shank tooth on it. And one last thing. The blade, I don't want to say tilts, but you notice the difference in height. I guess you could say it tilts. I mean, it really doesn't, but it tilts to a minor degree. So, overall, an awesome model. If I had to pay $150 for it, I probably would, because overall it's a great model. It has, as you can tell, it has a great amount of features and detail. 2 of my favorite features would have to be how the tracks, how the rollers on the bottom move, and how they move up and down. Those are my favorite. It's why I would recommend the model over any dozer model. They make it in the standard Liebherr color, but I for one like this color better. Maybe one day I'll get the Liebherr yellow one, just to complete the collection of them. But for now, I'm gonna keep this one, and maybe I'll start to collect more Liebherr dozers. But that's it. Hope you liked the review. Don't have a serial number for this one. Whatever it is, there's only 300 made, so it's one of those 300. But there it is. Hope you liked it. If you want to see pictures of it, go to the link below.